Justin Coonan, thank you for talking to me.
Thanks for having me.
Can you tell me why marriage equality is such an important issue to you?
I think it's an important recognition of the dignity of our sexuality and the depth of our relationships. Same-sex couples have had more or less equal rights since 2008 in Australia, but this would be a step further for the government to actually say that our relationships are as important as heterosexual relationships.
You're involved as the convener for the New South Wales Gay and Lesbian Rights Lobby. What's their involvement been exactly?
Yeah, we focus our attention on the policy level, on speaking to members of parliament, on appearing before inquiries, writing submissions, because I think that's where our expertise is. We work on a number of issues, marriage equality being one of them, and so we channel our energies on this issue where we feel we can have most impact.
What have you found most challenging in the whole debate?
I think the fact that it's taking so long. The Australian people made their mind up several years ago, but the politicians are taking a while to catch up.
Why do you think they're taking so long to catch up?
I think we can't underestimate the strength that certain religious organisations and religious beliefs still have in our parliament. I think for this bill to pass, there needs to be will on both sides for it to pass. There needs to be a conscience vote on the coalition side, and that hasn't happened yet, but it's becoming increasingly likely that it will happen.
You mentioned the religious side. How do you reassure people who perhaps oppose marriage equality on religious, cultural or traditional grounds?
I think we need to recognise that we live in a pluralistic society and that not everyone is going to support marriage equality, and that's okay. Nothing in any bill that we've supported before Parliament has required a religious minister to solemnise a marriage against their wishes. And whatever bill goes before federal Parliament next, I assume it would be the same, and we recognise that.
How do you react to those critics who perhaps say that religions or faith shouldn't be allowed to discriminate in any way?
Yeah, it's a tricky one. I think you probably have to make a distinction between functions which are inherently religious, such as the ordination of priests, whether a religion will marry two people of the same sex, and situations where a religious organisation is essentially acting as an extension of government in the provision of public services. For example, running a school or a hospital or a domestic violence service, particularly when they're receiving public funds to do so. In the former case, I think there may be an argument that freedom of religion means that these religious organisations shouldn't have to do things against their wishes. In the latter case, I think the argument is much stronger that they should be forced to comply with federal and state anti-discrimination law.
How do you reassure those who perhaps oppose marriage equality on the grounds of, say, it's a patriarchal institution, or maybe it entrenches a divide between married or unmarried couples?
We'd never say that marriage is the highest or most important form of relationship recognition, but there will be some same-sex couples and opposite-sex couples who want to get married because they feel the institution's important, and there would be some who don't for those reasons or others. So what we're talking about really is the choice, not that one form of recognition is more important or better than another.
Do you think there's a timeline for marriage equality? When will we get it?
The million-dollar question. You know, I think there's a fairly good chance it'll happen this year. Obviously, there are many variables at play. I think if it doesn't happen this year, the government probably won't want to do it in an election year, and if they don't do that, they have to take it to a federal election, and I really think it's a vote loser. So if they were sensible, they'd get it done now.
Ireland has obviously provided momentum. They had a referendum. A few people have called for a plebiscite or a referendum. How do you respond to that?
The situation in Ireland was slightly different because Ireland's constitution was such that it didn't allow marriage equality, and a referendum had to occur. In Australia, the High Court in the ACT case made it clear that this is a matter for Parliament. Parliament can act. It's not that hard for Parliament to act, and Parliament should act.
For people who want to get involved in the debate and give their support, what can they do?
Speak to your friends, speak to your family, speak to your members of Parliament. This is going to be one vote at a time. I think MPs are looking very closely at their electorates, and the more they hear the voices of people, ordinary people in their electorate, you don't have to have any position or role or title, you just have to speak from your experience, and I think the weight of those personal stories will be important in the end.
Justin Coonan, Thank you very much.
Thank you.